Have you ever seen a video or made a video where you're mixing vlog footage with a product review or something that's not the vlog? Today we're going to learn how to mix those things better, or if you should be doing it at all, by looking at this video by Dave Mays. Welcome back to another episode of Feedback Friday, the series where we're learning how to tell better stories and make better videos by breaking down other creators' videos and learning from them. If you're making videos on your channel that are a mix of vlogs and something else, like a product review or a tutorial, today we're going to see how that relates to the storytelling structure of an A story and a B story, or plot and subplot. And we're going to do that by taking a look at this video submitted by Dave Mays. You may be familiar with Dave. Dave's been making camera content online for a long time, and you may be familiar with his channel, Kinotika. In his latest video, one of his latest videos, he's kind of changed up his format of typical kind of studio camera review style stuff, and starting to try to mix in vlog footage and see how the audience is reacting to that.
That's a big addition.
In just a moment, we'll get to whether or not that's working or not working for Dave's video, but we'll see how that applies to you and how you might be able to leverage that kind of A and B story in your own videos. Before we do that though, let's describe subplot and plot so that we have a better understanding of how those types of storytelling structures fit into your YouTube videos. So first, plot. It might seem kind of obvious, but plot is the main story that you're trying to tell. In the case of a YouTube video, it's the promise that you set up with the thumbnail and the title, and we'll get a little bit more into detail about what that means. In the case of Dave's video that we're going to be breaking down right now, the title is Make Your Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K or 6K Look Like Ari Alexa Footage. The plot is the main story that you're trying to tell. So in a fiction, it might be a superhero trying to save the world. In a YouTube video, that plot might be the product review of the product that you're reviewing. And so a subplot is a side story. It's a supporting story that kind of may tie into the main plot, or maybe it doesn't. In the case of YouTube videos, again, that could be the vlog footage that you're trying to mix into the main product review. For example, a good subplot is in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. The main story is how Harry's kind of progressing through the film, and then the subplot, the side story, is Snape's childhood and the character development of Snape. They're kind of related, but they're two separate stories, and they kind of find their way back towards the end of the film. Now, when you're writing stories or making films, a lot of times, especially in short films, the general advice is to stick to having one plot. Don't try to mix in an A story and a B story, because you generally don't have time to really flesh out both stories. I think a lot of that is true too when you're making YouTube videos, because you're setting up the main story that the viewer is there to see, and if you're distracting them with all this B story, the side story stuff, that's generally not what they're there for, and unless you do a really good job incorporating that into your video, they're not going to want to stick around and watch your video. So now that we have a good understanding of how plot and subplot apply to your YouTube videos, now we can see what the problem is when you apply that to your YouTube videos. On YouTube specifically, when you're making videos, especially when it's a tutorial or a product review or some type of like evergreen SEO related video where people are searching and finding your video and they're not already familiar with you as a content creator, you're setting up a promise in the title and the thumbnail, and when they click on that title and thumbnail, they expect to be delivered that information that you promised right up ahead. So again, in the case of Dave's video, we're talking about Blackmagic Pocket Cinema cameras and how to make it look like Ari Alexa. So as a viewer who's just doing searches for those things, who doesn't already know Dave or may not already know Dave, when I click into that video, I want to get that information. I see this a lot in smaller channels, especially for people who haven't quite found their niche or their voice or their style yet, where they're mixing in this vlog footage with content that they might think works in search or they might want to be picked up. So it's a product review, maybe a backpack review or a tutorial of some kind, but you're starting off the video with 30 seconds to 2 minutes of vlog footage of updates, and that's not what the viewer is there for. And especially if people who aren't familiar with you yet are coming to your channel, that's not what they're looking for. So if you're not delivering that content, that value in the first 30 seconds to a minute, they're likely going to leave. So that being said, let's take a look at how Dave's managing that in his video and setting up his content and the vlog footage.
What's cooking, everybody? Dave Mays here in the new Kinotika set. Today is going to be the first of this new format. There's Shut On,
hey,
and then Jake behind the camera. This is a new thing. It's going to be a little less polished.
So he spends about the first 20, 30 seconds kind of explaining that this is going to be a rougher video than what his viewers are used to. And then he gets into this kind of studio professional style of introducing the video like he probably normally would in the studio setting, setting up the video with what value we can expect to see. And then he does something interesting here. Because he says he's experimenting with this new channel style, this new video style, he puts up the time code for where viewers can kind of skip the more vlog style footage into the more meat of the video. And I think this is an interesting idea, especially for a larger channel that's going to have a lot of analytics data. In your analytics, you can see right away whether or not your graph is dipping and people are skipping that part and going to that time code that you suggested. If you have enough data, of course, that's a good way where you can really immediately see after you upload a video whether or not it's working or not. So while this format may work for Dave, it might not work for you. So next, let's talk about why it might be a bad format for you, why it works for Dave, and how you might be able to make it a format that does work for you. So in Dave's case, or in the case of any other larger channel who's kind of doing this style, like Matty Hapoya or Potato Jet, they have an audience base that's already familiar with them or familiar with their personality and wants to get some more of that behind the scene footage. And you can tell by the comments here in Dave's video that jumping to this new format, a lot of his audience that wants more of that personality and more of that content is actually interested in this format and they're really liking it. In your case, if you're a smaller channel, your audience probably doesn't know you yet, and hitting them with all this behind the scenes footage, again, it's not the content that they came there for, so they're not really going to be interested in it. Unless you have a really good personality and you're really entertaining, they're probably not going to stick around for that kind of content. If you can hook the audience with your personality and kind of bring them into your video or give them a lot of value really quickly so that they're continuing to watch your videos and learn about your personality, and you're starting to incorporate those things together really well, then they'll probably stick around for both your value and your personality. And that's the part of the strategy of mixing your vlog and your personality that can work out really well if done correctly. And that doing it properly part is what I want to talk about next, about how to balance that being yourself part that people are always talking about with the main value and the main story that you're trying to tell with your video and that value that you're trying to bring to the viewers. Again, using Dave's video as an example, he's starting to bring his personality more into these videos. And he said himself that he thought that some of the comedy bits and some of the personality that he's bringing forward really worked in the video. And again, you can tell by the comments that his audience was enjoying that. Dave also said this is a video that he came together in the edit. He didn't really have a plan or a story starting off, which is often the case for when you're making a vlog. But when you're making a video that's a vlog and something else, that planning of what you're going to include really goes a long way into the final edit, into the final storytelling of the piece. So when it comes to balancing the plot and the subplot, we always want to make sure that throughout the video that we're not only keeping it engaging and entertaining, but that we're starting to answer those questions that we set up at the beginning. In the case of a video like this, where it's about making your footage look like another camera, you want to continuously deliver that information throughout the video, either in pieces, cut back and forth between your A story and your B story, so that the viewer is being entertained with your B story and then getting value from your A story. That's one strategy to do it. The other way to do it is kind of how we see Potato Jet do it or Kai Wong do it, where you have this vlog footage mixed with kind of technical information laid over the footage that you're shooting with different cameras, in the case of a camera review. So that way you're continuously delivering information while showing the viewer your B story or your side story. In this video, Dave's kind of done a similar thing in this natural unplanned moment of having to help his wife with her car. He set up his camera and started to use that situation as part of the camera view, and that's a good way of blending the A story with the B story.
All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Yes! Yes!
There is an opportunity here in this style of video, and in Dave's case, he's using a music montage to this kind of B-roll stuff, and then coming back later with some of that A-story main plot, and then tying in that value afterwards. Instead of using music, you could use voiceover and mix those two A and B stories together with showing the footage from the B story, the vlog style footage, or what's going on at the beach type of a thing, with voiceover delivering the value and the content that the viewers are there to see. That way, as a viewer who's there for the information and not just the vlog content, they're not skipping around to try to find that information, or they're not leaving the video altogether. A good example, or the most memorable example that I can think of mixing the A plot and B plot is one of Jesse Driftwood's older videos. I think it's his first Q&A video on YouTube from about a year ago. Now, granted, Jesse is also a larger channel and a larger, well-known content creator, so he already has that audience base who's interested in his kind of personality and his vlog style footage. And even though the intro to that Q&A video is about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes of kind of music, B-roll, vlog style footage before you kind of get to the meat of the Q&A, once you get into the meat of the video and to the actual Q&A portion of it.
Hi, what's up, Jesse Driftwood? So I have one question, only one question. How and what gear you use for shooting?
You start to see that Jesse is doing a really good job of mixing the plot part of the video, which is the Q&A, the main thing that people are there to see, with the subplot or the B story, which is him and his friend traveling around Montana and going to all these different fun places. He's keeping you entertained and telling both stories at the same time while delivering on the promise of the title and the thumbnail, and keeping you engaged throughout the whole thing.
Which one is your favorite, YouTube or Instagram?
Neither. Twitter.
So when you're making your videos and you're mixing your vlog footage together with whatever value proposition that you have at the beginning of the video or in the title and the thumbnail, how can you start to mix those two things together? Or the actions that you're doing throughout the day, throughout the vlog, walking around, how can those help support whatever it is that you're telling about the product, the tutorial, or whatever video it is that you're setting up? Dave's kind of done it in this A, then B, then A, then B kind of cut up way, while Jesse's kind of done it in a more merged, seamless kind of way. So when you're making your videos and you're experimenting with mixing your vlog footage into your main video, first ask yourself whether or not it makes sense to have that B story, or if you should really be focusing on one story. If you do want to have a second story in there, that's totally cool. Just figure out a way where you can mix it in so that it's not distracting from the main point or being boring in any kind of way. You can do that by cutting back between the A story and the B story, kind of like Dave's done here, or you can do that by using your B story as a way to deliver your main plot, kind of like how Jesse did in his Q&A video. In Dave's case, he's kind of gone that A then B style footage where he's kind of cutting back from one story to another, cutting from the vlog footage to the main focus of the video. And there are some points where he's mixed the two, like in the example of fixing his wife's car. In Dave's case, he has a lot of analytics that he can use to figure out whether or not this format is working or what parts of that format are working, whether or not cutting from A to B is working, or if the audience is jumping around to try to find that information. If you're a smaller channel, you don't have that much analytics to kind of go off of, you can still try the same thing and see if you can get the results in your graph to really tell you what's going on, or try to gauge that feedback by the comment section and engagement. If it's a video that you're trying to get in search and you're seeing a lot of drop off by starting off the vlog footage, maybe try starting off by delivering that information instead of starting with your vlog and incorporate that vlog later on in the video. Or if you find that those vlog style videos aren't working at all for your channel, you can try cutting out the vlog and working your personality in a different kind of way. And then slowly as your channel builds, as you have an audience that's more interested in you and invested in your personality, you can start to bring your vlog footage in more and more and see how your audience responds to it. Either way, whether you decide to tell a main plot or a subplot, your main storytelling structure still applies. You want to set up the questions at the beginning and make sure that you answer them by the end and deliver the value to your audience. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out this Feedback Friday playlist where I talk more about storytelling and a whole bunch of other videos. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, big thanks to Dave Mays for submitting his video and letting us break it down and talk all about this stuff here on this channel. Until next time, bye for now.